Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Monday, September 22nd. The last week of regular season baseball begins today. I'll repeat that. The last week of regular season baseball begins today. Sunday will be the last regular season ball games. Monday, everyone's off, and then Tuesday begins the first round of the playoffs. If your team is in the hunt, congratulations to you. If your team has already clinched, big congrats to you. If your team is out of it, I feel you. I understand your pain. But listen, it's about to be done. And then we get into next year. You got, as soon as the World Series ends, you start getting ready for next year. And then you got some new hope. So let's see how things went down around the league. We're going to check that out in the MLBeat. We're going to look at the previous Braves series, as we always do, in our opening segment. And then we're going to look at the upcoming Braves series. But you know what? Let's just get into the first segment. Let's get into the first segment. And then when we get to the MLBeat, we got a lot of catching up to do.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we take a look at the previous Braves series. And as always, Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT20. $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. You want to go catch a show, catch a game, anything you need tickets for, go to SeatGeek.com or download the app SeatGeek and add your tickets to the cart. Then promo code, you're gonna add a code CHOPSEAT20. As you can see below, you're gonna save $20 off your first purchase. Again, CHOPSEAT20 saves you $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Let's talk about this Braves series that just went down. The Braves, they stay hot. Yes, they stay hot. They end up sweeping the Detroit Tigers. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Now they want to be playing good baseball. That's 8 wins in a row for the Atlanta Braves. Maybe they'll make it 14 to end the season. We'll see starting tonight with that new series that will be starting. But listen, they go into Detroit. Detroit's in first place in the American League Central. They've been in first place pretty much the entire year. They're on the brink of having the worst collapse in history, which is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. They had a 15.5 game lead in the division. That is down to 1 game. Crazy to say that. That is down to 1 game. And listen, you can thank us, Cleveland fans. Cleveland is behind them by a game. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Even though they've been getting hot, but they needed a little bit of help. We were able to help them out this weekend. Game 1, it was started by Bryce Elder. Listen, man. I talk junk about Bryce Elder. I do. But he definitely been way better than that first start, the first half that he had this year. Listen, this start, he went 7 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run allowed, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He gets the win. That's number 8 of the season for him. He's now 8-10 with a 5.36 ERA. The Braves are going up against old friend, World Series champion, the legend, Charlie Morton, Uncle Chuck. Uncle Chuck had a rough start. He had, excuse me, I'm over here blanking out. He went 1 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, all those earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks. He picks up loss number 11 of the season for him. He's now 9-11 with a 5.89 ERA. He actually got DFA'd after this start. Maybe the Braves pick him up. Off of waivers and have him throw one more start there for the Braves at the end of the season. This is the final week. Maybe they'll throw him in maybe on a Saturday or something. Who knows? That'll be fun. That would actually be funny to see. That would be hilarious to see. Maybe he'll, get a final start. Maybe call it quits for his career after that final start with the Braves potentially. But we'll see what ends up happening with Charlie Morton. But this game was pretty good. It was a 10-1 victory for the Braves. Everyone got a hit. in the lineup besides Ozuna and Michael Harris II. We had some homers. We had Ronald Acuna Jr. He had a home run in this one. That's number 18 of the season for him. Ha-Seong Kim. Listen, homer number 4. This guy, I gotta say, the offense obviously has looked completely different with him in it because we were not getting any production from the shortstop hole, and that's a big spot. And he doesn't have to be great hitting homers every day, but you can see the at bats that he's taking. You can see it just completely changes the lineup, and it takes pressure off of the rest of the guys. Because think about it, when the rest of the guys aren't hitting, and I'm no disrespect to Nate Allen, but you got to pick up some more slack. You got to pick up some more slack if you're the rest of the guys in the offense, and now they're putting more pressure on themselves, most likely to come out and perform. But when you got a guy like Ha-Seong Kim that he's putting good at bats together, he can draw a walk, he can slap the ball the other way, he can pull the ball, he got some pop as well. That helps everyone in the lineup. And you can see it now. Everything's kind of flowing a bit better. And that's what I have in Austin Riley in this lineup. Remember, he's been out for a while now. And Nacho, listen, credits to Nacho. He's been filling in just fine, which is impressive to see from him. But again, Ha-Seong Kim, he had a homer. That's number 4 of the season for him. Drake Baldwin, Rookie of the Year candidate. He had a homer in this one. That's number 17 of the season for him. He had a tremendous week. This guy had a tremendous week. Unfortunately, I just lost my fantasy baseball league. I was in the championship round. I had Drake Baldwin on the bench. I had him on the bench. I don't even want to see how many points he got me. I think he must have got like 80-something, 70-something points for the week. Every time I got a notification, Drake Baldwin hits a homer. Drake Baldwin triples. Everyone in the mom scores. Drake Baldwin sacrifice fly. Drake Baldwin double. I'm like, that hurts, man. That hurts. I'm like, bro, please stop sending me the notifications because this thing is killing me. Anyways, I messed up there, but that's fantasy baseball talk. We're talking about the real deal. Anyways, again, Braves win that one 10-1. They stunned the Detroit Tigers and their fans on the road for game 1. Game number 2, it was a tighter ball game. It was started by Joey Wentz for the Rays. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Pretty decent start by Joey Wentz. He kept us in the game. He has a 5.46 ERA as of the moment. Cater Montero, he went for the Detroit Tigers. He went 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. All those earned 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. He now has a 4.48 ERA. Like I said, a very close game. It was a 6-5 victory for the Braves. Yo, call this Nacho Alvarez Day, bro, because he hits his first career homer in this ballgame. And guess what? He hits homer number 2. He says, 1 is cool, but let me do 2. That's exactly what he does. He hits 2 homers in this ballgame. Drake Baldwin, he one-ups him. He hits homer number 18 of the season for him. The rookies showing some pop in this ballgame. And then, listen, the Braves were down 4-5 in the top of the 9th with runners on first and second. 2 outs, 1-2 pitch. Nacho Alvarez, he comes up. He pushes one out to right field. That ties the ball game 5-5. Detroit fans are stunned once again. Jurickson Profar, he delivers a go-ahead single after that. That makes it 6-5 Braves. Raisel Iglesias, he comes in the bottom of the 9th. 1-2-3 inning. Picks up save number 27 of the season for him. Hopefully he can get to 30. These last, we got 6 games. All you got to do is close out half of these ball games, and you'll be able to get to 30 saves. But listen, it was a close one, but the Braves are able to steal this one. It was obviously hasn't been a trend this entire season, winning one-run ball games. But they're able to take this one. And then the final game, it was a 6-2 victory for the Braves. It was started by Spencer Strider, who goes 5 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Way better start from him. He's now 7-13 with a 4.45 ERA. He picks up that win, number 7 of the season. Casey Mize goes out for the Tigers. He goes 5 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. All those earned 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He picks up the loss. He's now 14-6 with a 3.91 ERA. All the starters besides Jurickson Profar, they reach base in this ballgame. Ha-Seong Kim, again, homer number 5 of the season. He had a solo shot in the 4th. Ronald Acuna Jr. had an RBI single. Drake Baldwin, here we go. RBI triple. Ozzie Alves with an RBI double. Ha-Seong Kim, he drives in another one via the sacrifice fly. Michael Harris with an RBI double as well. The offense, again, has been – this is the offense that we needed. Timely hitting, good at-bats, keep the line moving. And I can't stress enough the timely hitting. The timely hitting, that's a big, big part of this Braves offense that we had been relying on for these last, 7 years. 7 years we've been relying on the timely hitting from the offense. And I'm saying 7 years because, unfortunately, even though the Braves won all of these games during the weekend, they were officially eliminated from playoff contention. I think it was after Friday night's game. The Braves officially eliminated. They will not be in the playoffs for the first time since 2017. So that ends the streak. But there's nothing to be sad about, man. We got spoiled. We were in the playoffs all those years. And hopefully it's just one down year. We're able to bounce back. Anthopoulos makes some moves, makes his team stronger, builds on what he has already built via the waiver claims. He's got the waiver palooza going on. This guy is a waiver machine. Talking about waivers, he claimed Chucky Robinson from the LA Dodgers, catcher from the LA Dodgers, known more for his defense, not really his offense. In order to make room for him, Daysbel Hernandez was placed on a 60-day IL. And then today, I just saw the news a little while ago, they claimed Joey Payams from the Milwaukee Brewers, Connor Seabold, was DFA'd in order to make room for him. And maybe we're going to add Charlie Moore into this list. We're going to go ahead and see what happens in these next few days. But again, Braves get eliminated from playoff contention. If you guys listen to the chop seat, you guys know I already declared the Braves dead. I don't know when it was. Might have been June or maybe July, which kind of was a little bit late into the season. A lot of people declared the Braves dead way before that. I had a little bit of hope. I gave them a chance, but after seeing the way they were playing, I had to declare them dead. And then, this weekend, it was just, they made it official. They threw the flowers on top of the casket this weekend. But it is what it is. We'll be back. Braves country always comes back. And that's something we got to look forward to in 2026. That's all I got for Tomahawk Takes, guys. That's all I have for Tomahawk Takes. We're going to try and zoom by this episode. We're going to head into our next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
Welcome to the MLBeat, the league. Very exciting series that we had. A lot of them. A lot of key series. A lot of teams still in the hunt. So we obviously definitely got to keep track on those. And the first one we're going to lead off is it's a team that already clinched their playoff berth, but there's another team trying to get into the playoffs. That's the Chicago Cubs at the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds hungry to get into the playoffs. And listen, they took care of business. Why? Because they sweep the 4-game set from the Chicago Cubs. They win game one. Remember that in the last episode, we mentioned the game one on Thursday. Hunter Green goes a complete game shutout. The 1-0 win for the Reds. Game number 2 on Friday, Spencer Steer, Ellie De La Cruz, they go back-to-back in this one. Spencer Steer, he has 2 homers in the ballgame. Reds win this one 7-4. Game 3 on Saturday was a 6-3 victory for the Reds, and they come out, complete the sweep, 1-0 shutout win on Sunday's game. They are now tied with the Mets for the final spot in the National League wildcard, and they actually hold the tiebreaker between the two teams. So listen, final week is going to get interesting for those two teams. Next, though, we got the San Francisco Giants at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Remember, the Dodgers won game 1 Thursday night, 2-1. Game number 2 on Friday, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, they go back-to-back. Clayton Kershaw making his final regular season start at Dodgers Stadium. He goes 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts for the legend Clayton Kershaw. Listen, I want to hear your thoughts. If you were at the game, how were the vibes? I want to know. I didn't see any footage of the game, I got to be honest. But this guy's a legend. He's definitely going to be missed in the game. It's going to be weird to not see him in a Dodgers uniform anymore. But listen, congrats to him on a great, great career. And hopefully there, for his sake at least, he's able to go out with one final ring to put the cherry on top to his career. Game number 3 of the set. Dodgers win this one 7-5. They clinch a playoff berth after this win, 7-5 victory. And then after celebrating, I took a day off. You know how it is, popping champagne and stuff. Giants, they come back and win the final game 3-1 to avoid the sweep. Next, we got the Yankees, who are in playoff position. 7-0 win in game number 1 on Thursday. Jazz Chisholm Jr., he joins the 30-30 club in game number 2, but that's not enough. Orioles win this one 4-2. Game 3, though, Aaron Judge, rise homer number 49 of the season for him. Giancarlo Stanton, home run number 450 of his career. He comes out, he shows some pop. Carlos Rodon, he goes 17-9 for the season now, picking up the win. He now has a 3.04 ERA. The Yankees win this one 6-1. And then in the top of the 10th, the Yankees often blows up. They win this one 7-1. They take 3 out of 4 from the Baltimore Orioles. Next, we had a series of scrubs, the Athletics and the Pirates. Pirates take 2 out of 3 there. Next, Washington Nationals at the New York Mets. Mets, they take game number 1, 12-6, led by Juan Soto, who sets a career high in homers, 42. He hits number 42 of his career in this one. The Mets, they're able to score 6 in the bottom of the 4th to again lead them to that 12-6 victory. But then game 2, 5-3 victory for the Washington Nationals in 11 innings. Dalen Lyle, he hits a go-ahead inside the park 2-run homer. You cannot make it up. This is LOL Mets all over again. He hits, again, a 2-run inside the park homer in the top of the 11th to give the Nationals a 5-3 victory on the road. Really, really bad loss for the Mets. And they come out and lose the final game of the series 3-2. That has them tied with the Cincinnati Reds for that final spot in the National League wild card. And again, remember, as I mentioned before, the Reds actually hold a tiebreaker between the two teams. Boston Red Sox at the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay is officially eliminated from playoff contention. My condolences. You guys already know how that feels. Boston scores 7 in the 8th, top of the 8th. They win this one 11-7. They win game 2 6-3. But then the Rays come back and win the final game 7-3 to avoid the sweep. Toronto Blue Jays at the Kansas City Royals. The Blue Jays trying to clinch their first AL East title since I think 2015. They're not able to do it just yet. They lose the first game 20-1. Kansas City scores 7 in the first inning. That pretty much set the pace, set the tone for the rest of the ball game. 20-1 victory. Game number 2, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino. They go back to back. Carlos Estevez picks up save number 41. 2-1 victory for the Royals there. And then game 3 to avoid the sweep, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. He goes 2 for 5 in this one. He had a big 2-run double. The Blue Jays, they do clinch a postseason berth, so they will be in the playoffs. And the magic number is now 4 to be able to clinch the AL East. 8-5 victory there, and they avoid the sweep. San Diego Padres at the Chicago White Sox. White Sox win game 1 4-3. Padres come back and win the game number 2 7-3, and they win the rubber matchup 3-2 victory there. Tatis Jr., he had a homer, number 23 of the season there for him. And the magic number for the Padres to clinch a playoff berth is down to 2. So they'll be popping bottles pretty soon. That's my San Diego Padres. That's my team to go all the way. Remember that. You think I'm just making it up, go back to the videos on the Chop Seat. Go to YouTube, all the social media pages. There's a video there. I declare San Diego Padres World Series champions in 2025. I'm not making it up. Like I said, the proof is there. Go check the receipts. Miami Marlins at the Texas Rangers. The Marlins, they staying alive, bro. They're staying alive. They're hot. They won the first game 6-4 in 12 innings on the road against the Rangers. Second game, they went 4-3. Last game, they bring out the brooms on the road in Texas. That might be it for Texas, unfortunately. Losing the series via the sweep to the Marlins. Marlins win that one 4-2. I think the Marlins are 4 games back from that last wildcard spot. They got to continue winning these games and hoping for some Mets and Reds losses in order to be in the picture. But listen, we'll catch up with that in the standings just shortly. Next, we have the LA Angels out of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies, they end up taking 2 out of 3. They actually got their 42nd win, clinching not having the worst record, along with the Chicago White Sox from last year. So congrats to them, if you want to say congrats to them. Big series that we had, Seattle Mariners at the Houston Astros, coming in to the series tied up in the top of the American League West. Josh Naylor, he hits homer number 20. That's a 2020 season for him. Remember, he was acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks during the trade deadline. Eugenio Suarez, another acquisition. He hits homer number 47 of the season. Julio Rodriguez is his 31st. That's a 4-0 victory for the Seattle Mariners on the road. A big dumper in game number 2, hits homer number 57. He sets the new Mariners single season record in homers, number 57 of the year for him. Victor Robles, he had a big double play to end the game. That puts the Astros 2 games back of the Mariners in the AL West. And then game number 3, the ESPN night special. The Astros lose this one. They get swept at home by the visiting Seattle Mariners. J.P. Crawford with a big grand slam, 7-3 victory for the Seattle Mariners. And listen, the Mariners are looking to win the AL West for the first time in 24 years. I believe the magic number is down to 3. So a couple wins and a Astros loss that clinches that division for the Seattle Mariners. Next, we have the red-hot Cleveland Guardians visiting the Minnesota Twins. Guardians win game number 1, 6-2. They had a doubleheader on Saturday. Guardians don't care. They don't care. They say we're sweeping this doubleheader. They win the first one 6-0. I was about to say Julio Ramirez. It's probably his cousin. Jose Ramirez has homer number 30 of the season in this one. Game number 2 of the doubleheader, the Guardians, they scored 6 in the top of the 5th. That's an 8-0 victory for them there. That gave them 10 wins in a row. Trying to go for 11 on Sunday afternoon, but the Twins are able to hold them back. They were, listen, if the Guardians would have won this game, they would have been tied in the AL Central. But again, the Twins are able to hold them off. Twins win this one 6-2. But again, Guardians just 1 game back, and they got a series to play against the Detroit Tigers starting tomorrow. And I actually think they hold the tiebreaker in the series between those 2 teams. So it's gonna get interesting. That's gonna be a big series. That's a preview. We're gonna get an early playoff special when it comes to that series. Milwaukee Brewers at the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals take game 1, 7-1. Game 2, Bryce Durant with a big go-ahead single in the top of the 10th. That gives the Brewers a win, 3-2 victory there. And then the St. Louis Cardinals, they win the final game, the rubber match of 5-1 to win the series. I believe the St. Louis Cardinals might still be alive slightly. I think they have the same record as the Marlins. We got to confirm that when we get to the standings. But again, you got to win it. You got to win every single game, and these guys got to help you out when it comes to that final spot. So we'll see. And even though they lost, the Brewers, they clinched the NL Central in this one thanks to that Cubs loss. As we mentioned earlier in a row, that's their 3rd straight National League Central Division title. So congrats to the Brewers. And then our final series that we have, the Philadelphia Phillies at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Nicholas Castellanos, he hits his 250th homer of his career. He leads the Phillies to an 8-2 win. The Diamondbacks, they come back in game number 2. They win 4-3. And then they win the final game, 9-2. Corbin Carroll, I believe he cemented his 30-30 season in this series. And they're now 1 game back from the final wildcard spot. So if you count out the Dbacks, they are not dead yet. They are not dead. They are very much alive. 1 game back from the Mets and from the Reds. I got to do some research to see who owns the tiebreaker between those 3 teams. That I do have to do some research. I gotta be honest with you. But that's how the series, all these series from the weekend went down. Last week of baseball is gonna get even better. We're gonna have some wild games, I'll tell you that. I can guarantee you that. As for the series that are starting today, we got 3 series starting today. We got the Washington Nationals at the Atlanta Braves. We're going to preview that shortly in the Braves forecast. We got the Milwaukee Brewers at the San Diego Padres. And we got the St. Louis Cardinals at the San Francisco Giants. Two teams that are in the wild card hunt, but I think chances are very, very slim, especially for the San Francisco Giants. They're probably going to be out of it by tonight. Tuesday, tomorrow, we got the rest of the series starting. You got the Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles. We will not talk too much about that one. The one that I had just previewed, just mentioned, Detroit Tigers at the Cleveland Guardians. That is going to be one to keep an eye on. Make sure you do that. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Cincinnati Reds. Keep an eye on that one because the Reds are tied with the Mets. Miami Marlins at the Philadelphia Phillies. Listen, if you want a real, true underdog story, keep an eye on this one. See how the Marlins fare out. See if they can keep their playoff chances alive. They have the Chicago White Sox at the New York Yankees. Yankees are just 2 games back from the Toronto Blue Jays for the AL East division title. So keep an eye on that one if you're a Yankee fan. Boston Red Sox at the Toronto Blue Jays. Just mentioned the Blue Jays. Boston's into they're in the action too. They're in the playoffs as of right now. So hey, keep an eye on this one as well. Keep an eye on this one too. Why not? New York Mets at the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are chilling. They're already in, but the Mets trying to hang on, trying to get in to the playoffs. Minnesota Twins at the Texas Rangers. We're not going to talk too much about that one. This one as well. Kansas City Royals at the Angels. Los Angeles Dodgers against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Of course, you got to keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on those Dbacks. Colorado Rockies at the Seattle Mariners. And the Houston Astros at the Athletics. Those are all the series that are going to be going on starting tonight and tomorrow night as well. So listen, if your team is in the hunt, make sure to keep an eye on those ball games. And hopefully we don't have 2 bad collapses. Hopefully those 2 teams are able to hold on. I'm talking about the Detroit Tigers and the New York Mets. 2 teams that were pretty much cemented into the playoff picture long time ago. We were saying, these guys are definitely going to get in, especially the Detroit Tigers, especially the Tigers. But now they can find themselves getting knocked out at the very last minute. Kind of scary if you're a Detroit Tigers fan. Detroit fans are going to be on the road against the Cleveland Guardians. So it's going to be scary, but it's going to be good for those on the outside looking in. Anyways, that is all we have for the MLB. Now we're going to head into our final segment.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we take a look at the upcoming Braves series. That's going to be a series against the Washington Nationals at the Braves at Truist Park. The last homestand for the Braves. The Nationals are coming in 64-92. The Braves at 73-83. In other words, a series of your favorite scrubs. Game number 1 is going to be starting tonight, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Mackenzie Gore, the lefty, is going to be on the mound. He's 5-14 with a 4.00 ERA, going up against our lefty, Cy Young Chris Sale, 5-5 with a 2.35 ERA. Game number 2 is going to be tomorrow night, 7:15 p.m. Brad Lord is on the mound for the Nationals, 5-8 with a 4.18 ERA. Hurston Waldrop, 5-1 with a 3.04 ERA. And then game number 3 is going to be Wednesday, early bird special, 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. Andrew Alvarez will be on the mound for the Nationals. He's 1-1 with a 2.84 ERA, going up against Bryce Jekyll and Hyde Elder, 8-10 with a 5.36 ERA. I believe that should be the last start for Bryce Elder for the season, as he's pitching Wednesday. Then that should be the last start for him. So hopefully he can end up being 9-10 with a 5.19 ERA. We'll see if he's able to bring that ERA down, bring that win column up 1. And we don't really have much to say here. The Braves, they're, like I said earlier, they're riding an 8-game win streak. Let's see if they can win the final 6 games, make it a 14 in a row win streak. That'll put us at 79-83, which wouldn't be too bad for everything that's happened this season. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and some more. Obviously, you've seen that if you are a Braves fan. Again, this is the final 6 games of the regular season, the final homestand. To end it off, we have the Nationals now starting tonight for 3. Thursday, the Braves are going to be off, and then Friday to Sunday, they're going to end it off against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, listen, hopefully the Braves can end it off on a good foot. Like I mentioned the last episode, and I did mention that if the Braves are able to take care of business against the Tigers, even so, you cannot run it back. You can't run it back. I said, they swept the Nationals the previous series, and people were talking about, should the Braves bring it back, or run it back, yes or no. And I said, you got to wait and see how it goes against the Tigers. They took care of business with the Tigers. They took care of business, but you cannot run it back still. You still got to add to this ball club. You're going to have to add definitely some bullpen arms, and probably you're going to have to add let me get a bat, bro. Let me get a nice DH bat. Let me get a nice DH bat. I love Ozuna, but it's not working anymore with Ozuna. Unless he's hurt as well. I mean, they did mention that he was hurt at the beginning of the season, and then miraculously went away. That hip tear went away, and they haven't said anything about that anymore, which I'm pretty sure does not happen. That just does not untear itself. So you can't run it back. You can't run it back, and your rivals are going to keep getting better, which is exactly what happened this year. You ran it back, and you find yourself 10 games under 500. So that's all I got for the chop seat today. Again, you got a series for the Braves starting tonight. You got a couple more series starting tonight, and then the rest, the good ones, will be starting tomorrow. And make sure you keep an eye on those standings. Make sure to follow us Instagram at the Chop Seat Pod, YouTube, Twitter, X, TikTok, Facebook at the Chop Seat. Any questions, anything you want to submit, send it via DMs, any of those platforms. Send it via the email at thechopseat@gmail.com. That's all I got for you guys. Make sure to keep an eye on those ball games, the scoreboards, and everything. And listen, that's all I got, bro. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time on The Chops.